Let's have a conversation. Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing today? I hope you all are doing good. I actually made this live because I was looking through some of my video files and I found something that was kind of fun that I made, I think last year, regarding Johnny Bananas and Sarah Rice. Now, if anyone here has watched the challenge, they know, for me, the most savage challenge moment of all time is Johnny reaching this finals with Sarah. I think this was one of the rival seasons, and he had a choice at the end as the fastest overall finisher, whether he was going to take all the money or whether he was going to split it in half with Sarah, who was his partner for that season. He took the money, and I call that the most savage challenge moment of all time. People say Ashley and Hunter moment, because Ashley was a little more ruthless than Johnny in terms of what she said when she took the money from Hunter. But I feel like Bananas is the most savage because that was the first time in challenge history that had ever even been an option. And it didn't even look like it was difficult for this man. It did not look like a difficult decision to take all that money from her. So I put together this video. Like I said, it's not new, but I wanted to just go through this, and that's that. Welcome to the Challenge Court. On this rendition of the Challenge Court, we have Jonathan Bananas accusing Sarah of being a bad friend. Sarah has a counterclaim as the defendant that Johnny is the bad friend because he took the money. Let's let the people decide.
If it's between me and Bananas,
you know what I'll do. You're number one on my list. That is a name that I cannot say in this house, and it's Sean.
It's time for you guys to decide which group you want to send into the elimination against Leroy and Naya.
You know I love you guys. Sarah and Jordan will never say our names. We've been working together since day one.
So for some background information, this is where Johnny Bananas got his grudge on Sarah in the first place. This season was Battle of the Exes 2. Johnny Bananas and Nanny were partners, and Jordan and Sarah were partners, and they had been working together collectively up until that point. And you just heard Johnny say they would never say our names because we've been working together this whole time.
Who's it gonna be, guys?
All the blood rushes out of my body. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to come at a serious price. The team I want to pick is Bananas and Nani.
You're lying, Sarah. Don't around.
The game may have been more important.
So, for anyone who doesn't watch the challenge, because I guess I'm assuming most people here watch the challenge, and I know some people actually don't. When you win a competition on the challenge, on some seasons, not every season, on some seasons, when you win a daily competition on the challenge, you have a choice of who goes into the elimination automatically. So in this case, Jordan and Sarah had won, and Jordan and Sarah had the power to choose one of the teams that goes into the elimination rounds to possibly go home. And they had been working with Johnny Bananas. Not so much Jordan, though, because Jordan and Johnny Bananas were not really friends. They were kind of loosely working together, but they had a history themselves. So it was mainly that Johnny Bananas and Sarah were friends. So Sarah had a choice to throw another team in, and this was close to the end of the game. Or she had a choice to spare her friend, or she thought that he was the biggest threat. She thought that he was the biggest threat to her winning because he had already won, I don't know, 4 or 5 at that time, maybe. And so she was like, the biggest threat in the game is Johnny Bananas. So screw the friendship. He's going in. So now I'm fast forwarding to the reunion special and what she said in the reunion special for that season, because they won that season, Sarah and Jordan.
Important than your friendship with Bananas. So was it?
Winning $125,000 was what the goal was, and I did what I needed to do to achieve that. And
that's her response to Johnny basically saying she's a bad friend. She said, winning $125,000 was the goal of the season, and I did what I needed to do to achieve that. I'm not giving reactions yet until I finish the entire video.
Johnny has a lot of good qualities, but there are some things that he does that I wouldn't choose for my friends.
Since you voted me in, your entire life's mission has been to justify reasons why you did it. If you were so comfortable with that decision, if you were so okay with it and it was just a game, you wouldn't have
That's why I just said that. I don't need to say it.
find a million reasons to justify why you did it. If you had issues with who I was outside of the game, why did we hang out outside the game? Why did we go rock climbing together? Why did you let me introduce you to my hairdresser and set you up on a date with them? All the way up until the end, you lead me to believe the entire game that we're on the same side, we're playing the same game, and then you turn around at the last second and you're like, no, it's just a game. I've never played that game.
This is how you feel. Do you think Sarah knew that, though?
Hell yes, she knew that.
Did you understand that going into the game?
No.
She's going to do everything she can to make herself look innocent.
There is no way. I don't care if it's $10 million that I'm going to say his name, because he actually is not just my friend. This is my brother. That's the way she described the relationship about her with Bananas when she voted us in. She said, that's the way she described the relationship about her with Bananas when she voted us in. She said, I cannot say his name because this is my friend, an 8-year alliance outside of this house. I cannot say his name under any circumstances.
I'm not apologizing for any of this, just so you know.
Me and her have had what I consider a friendship for a long time. So you might have a different definition of what a friend is, but I considered you a friend.
Honestly, I don't think we're real friends. I think we're challenge friends.
I had seen that before, but I thought it was notable when I watched it back that he said, I considered us friends in real life. And she said as a response, I think we're challenge friends. Take note of that. So now fast forward to this moment where Johnny had the chance to split the money that they earned together with Sarah as the guy with the overall best time, or to take the money and run. We'll see what he said.
Where he's concerned, I consider that completely dead. There's no spite, there's no malice towards her. But I need to look after myself and invest in my future. So I'm going to go ahead and take the money and run to it.
When I was watching this for the first time, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, there's no way that this guy took the money from his partner that he won with, but he did it, man. Johnny Bananas is a savage.
All right, Bananas. Well, you just secured your spot as the one person that has made the most money on any challenge in history. $275,000, all for yourself.
Appreciate you coming back because I know there's a lot going on, a lot of emotions. What are you going through?
it wasn't so much about the money as it was like I felt like a fool. I felt like he did such a good job really making me feel like we were friends. When we did Exes 2, you said, I would have never done that to you because we're friends and I wouldn't do that when there's a friendship. And I felt like we had rebuilt that friendship.
I was going to completely save my reaction to the very end, but the tears, they're not doing it for me and then to quote him telling her at the last finale, you said that we're friends and you would never do that to a friend. That was before she did it. After, I feel like all bets are off. That's just my opinion.
And you did something that was, in my mind, way worse. Because I didn't steal your money. I sent you into an elimination where maybe you would come back, but gave you an opportunity to still win. You gave me zero opportunity when I worked with you and made a lot of sacrifices for you. Like, I stuck it out there when I have a husband at home. I have, a career I'm trying to start and a life I'm trying to build the same way you are.
And I don't.
Why do you think I just said the same way you are? Stop! Let me talk! Why do you turn everything into a poor Johnny situation?
Nah, you're turning this into a poor Sarah situation. This whole speech has been about poor Sarah.
Bananas, did you think that your decision was going to affect Sarah like this emotionally?
I don't think it should have. And the reason why is because I felt if anyone on this stage or if anyone in America could have sympathized or empathized with it, it would have been her. And I'd just like to say that in this.
That part is a little savage too. To be like, if anyone could have sympathized or empathized with the situation, it could have been her. I don't think sympathy or empathy is really what he was looking for there, unless he was just trying to be an ass. It was more like, I would say something more along the lines of, if anybody could, I don't even know. It was just petty. It was just petty. Like, you did this to me, now I'm doing this to you. Like, that's it.
Situation, I 100% side with him.
I agree, Mark. All bets were off.
What? Anyone on this stage that didn't split the money is an ass, except for Irma's. Except for Bananas in this situation. Other than that, he's still a rotten scumbag, banana, rotten bull piece of ass. But
who won the case of the banana split? You be the judge. Move that. So, basically, I'll tell you guys some background information about me and the show and the challenge. I was never a Johnny Bananas fan. I came around to being a Johnny Bananas fan in the last season that he was on prior to this current one, which was Total Madness. But at this particular point in time, when that season happened, I was like, this guy is the worst. And I was just like, I can't believe that. Nobody else would have done that. That's terrible. But I'm in now several different groups for these reality TV shows, and I'm in a Facebook group called the Challenge Fans. And in that group, they debate about this exact moment all the time. So it made me go back and watch both seasons consecutively. I watched Battle of the Exes 2, and then I watched Rivals back to back. And the thing that really stood out to me the most was not even Sarah's decision to throw Johnny into the elimination. It was what she said in the finale. And if you don't watch those two things back to back, you don't really realize that everything he decided to say was a direct rebuttal to what she said in that finale. She sat there on that finale seat And he said, I considered us friends. I put you on a date with my hairdresser. We've known each other for years. Nia even confirmed that in the chair. You know, Nia was talking about how off camera, well, we didn't see it, so it was off camera, that Sarah was like, that's my brother. We've known each other for 8 years. I would never throw him in under any circumstances, right? So they won that season, and I think a large part is because they got rid of Johnny Bananas and Nany before the final. So their competition in the final was easier. Then we get into this next season, and she expects him to do this high road. And I've watched Bananas. I watched him on his original season of Real World Key West. I watched him on all these previous seasons of the challenge. Bananas is not a high road guy. That's why Wes said at that point, for anybody else, they are an AH if they don't split the money, but not Bananas, because you know Bananas sold his soul for those challenges. By the way, random note, Johnny is a nice guy in person because I met him either December or January, this past December or January. I think it was January, if I'm not mistaken. He was super nice. I spoke to him for a while. That's just a random sidebar note. And I told him that I was not a fan previously. I told him that he made me into a fan later on, and he was like, yeah, I get it. But yeah, in retrospect, I'm with him here. I'm with him here on his decision to take the money. And then when she started doing the waterworks, it looked like it was on command. It looked like it was a plan. Now, I've heard Sarah on podcasts and different things talking about the trauma it brought for her and this and that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that there's no kind of trauma with being embarrassed like that on national TV, finishing a whole season with somebody and then not getting any of the money for it, and they take the whole money, and they had a choice to be able to do that. I'm not going to say there's no trauma involved. I'm just going to say, even though it wasn't the exact same scenario in the previous season, because, yeah, he had a chance to win an elimination and come back, it was a similar circumstance because it was like my friend threw me under the bus and embarrassed me and took away my chance of winning this money. So Johnny Bananas is soulless in the challenge. There's no other way I can say it. Sold his soul to the challenge for all those wins. And Johnny Bananas experienced something too, but his ability to have these things happen in this game that he felt so emotional about at the time and just wipe the slate clean and come back into the next season as if nothing happened. Wow. I tell people it takes a very specific and special set of skills to win that many challenges and to win that many challenges in that many different ways and with that many different people as he did. I consider that impressive in its own way. But yeah, my opinion of this whole scenario, again, is that maybe the petty side of me is talking, but yeah, I might have had a hard time, me personally. Like, everyone knows I'm a pretty nice guy. So I might have had a hard time doing what he did, but I can rationalize as to why a Johnny Bananas would take all that money from Sarah. And still to this day, he's still poking Sarah about it, and Sarah is still affected. It's like, but it's like if a person pushes somebody and then they get punched in the face as a reaction. A punch is worse than a push, but the punch did not happen out of nowhere. It wouldn't have happened if they didn't get pushed in the first place. So thank you all for watching my little breakdown of what I consider, again, the most savage moment. I put one of the most savage moments in challenge history in the title, but for me, it's the number one most savage moment in challenge history. Johnny Bananas taking the money from his partner, his teammate, Sarah. And yeah, that's my recap. Let me know in the comments, replay crew and everyone else who's watching this. Let me know in the comments who you think was right and who you think was wrong. You be the judge. Who won the case of the banana split? Take care. See y'all tomorrow.